Welcome back. It's sort of windy out this morning. We got some chores to do in the yard, but before that, I had a subscriber ask me to talk a little bit about home defense shotguns, and so I thought I would try to quickly give you a short overview of what I think is the best and explain a little bit about the gun types that you can use and the cartridge types. So right off, you have to understand, if you choose a shotgun for home defense, and you should, that's all. This is my opinion until we get to the facts. You should choose a shotgun, I think. Now, if you live in somewhere like a subdivision where the houses are so close outside next door, like I know some people that live in subdivisions to where if you walk out and you threw a rock, you could throw it over the next house. That presents a problem with what I'm going to suggest for a home defense round in a shotgun. But there's ways around it. So, number one, shotguns come in many gauges. And for those of you that don't know, and this video is not for the professional firearms gurus that know everything and want to get on and comment and argue back and forth. I'm just going to start deleting your comments if you want to be argumentative. These videos that I put out are my opinions, my suggestions. That's that. So move along, cupcake. Anyway, there are many gauges in shotguns. Starting, we're going to only talk about the most common that you can go to Walmart, Gander Mountain, I don't even think Gander Mountain's still open, but Academy, Bass Pro Shops, Field and Stream, somewhere like that, and pick up the ammunition. First off, back a year or so ago during the ammo crunch, we never run out of 12 gauge. You could go to Walmart and buy cases in a 100-round box of 12 gauge ammo all day long. They never run short. That's a good thing. But we'll try to stay on track here. I ain't been up long. Pardon the cigarette. So 410 being the smallest that I'm aware of, the smallest gauge. Just like any other gauge, they come in various sizes. They come in various shot. I don't know if I can hold these slick things and show you the difference in them or not, but so you've got 3-inch, and you've got, these are 2.5, but these are slugs. We'll get to that in a minute. 410 it'll do the trick. Keeping in mind that all these are shotguns. These are not toys. Now, a lot of people tend to give their children the 410s to shoot and hunt and teach them on, and that's fine. And the reason for that is because they have less recoil than some of the other choices. However, they still have recoil. They are still a shotgun, and they are still deadly. They will, of course, kill you, you know. So you've got, in every gauge, you have birdshot in different lengths, and then you have slugs, okay? And then you have buckshot. That's your three most common. Now, you've got some exotic things out here, especially now with the shotgun. People are starting to come around to the idea that a shotgun's probably better than some of the other more popular weapons for home defense. And the companies have went crazy creating all this exotic slugs and mix and matching the size pellets in the shells and things to give you better performance. And so there's a plethora of shell choices for whatever home defense shotgun you choose in any gauge, with the exception of maybe 28 gauge. I think it still tends to be a skeet trap type shotgun, but I'm sure you can get buckshot slugs in it too. So the most common, we have 10 gauge, There's still some of them out there. You really don't need 10 gauge for home defense work, but if you have that, that's fine. 12 gauge, there's 20 gauge, 28 gauge, and 410, 410, that's what we call it. With the most common being 12 gauge by far. So that's what we're going to focus on. Now, 410, 20, and 12 are the three most common. You can buy ammo for them most anywhere, with 12 gauge being the most common of those three. And the cheapest. You wouldn't believe the ammo prices on 410. You can buy 2, sometimes 3 boxes of 12 gauge for what you pay for 1 box of 410 just in birdshot. So we're going to focus on 12 gauge, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But understanding, again, all shotguns have recoil, and they have to have. The reason being is the payload that they're sending out the barrel is heavy, and they have to have a large powder charge in order to do that. So you've got some makers that make low recoil ammo for shotguns and rifles now, and apparently pistols. Let me explain this. As a reloader, the only way you can get lower recoil is you have 2 choices. You can reduce the payload of shot that you're sending out, which defeats the purpose, or you can reduce the powder charge. That's the only way you can get low recoil. Or make the shot out of something like some lightweight material like tungsten, which we're talking about Walmart here. We ain't talking about a $100 box of 12 gauges. We're talking about everyday life. So low recoil, if you are recoil sensitive and you buy into that, that's fine. Get that. I personally understand the shotgun and the types and don't want to go down the road of low recoil. If I wanted a less powerful gun, I wouldn't choose a shotgun. So, I mean, that's just me. But I'll get off that and let's get into the 12 gauge. So 12 gauge shotgun has been around for many, many, many generations. 12 gauge was black powder. At one time, you could load 12 gauge bore black powder. Some of them you still can, but I'm not going to tell you how to do that because it's dangerous. So let's talk about modern home defense shotguns. When you think of home defense shotguns, I promise you this is what you think of. And it has its place. My shotguns are loaded, and I'm not going to unload them for this video because I never know who might come kicking my door in. But anyway, and they're also pumps. You can buy auto loaders, single barrels, pumps, lever actions now. Henry makes a lever action 410. I'm sure some other folks do. You can get them in various ways. The pump, to me, is the most reliable and the easiest to learn to master. Okay. Pump shotguns, it's like a rattlesnake. If somebody's in the other room and they hear you rack that slide on that shotgun, everybody knows what that sound is. Even if you've never heard a shotgun rack in your life, you know what that is. Let's unload it and I'll show you. If I can unload this one sitting here, I may have to unload the other one. Let's unload the other one. The pump shotgun, to me, is the best of everything when it comes to shotguns for home defense. Now, sure, a semi-auto can shoot faster, but you're limited on shells, round count. All right, so the gun's clear. Did you hear that? I don't care who you are. If you step on a rattlesnake and he rattles, you know what it is, and you know what a pump shotgun sounds like being racked. Anybody and everybody. Sometimes that can be a deterrent. I'm not saying you should use it as one. I'm saying sometimes that can be a deterrent. There ain't nothing to make somebody invading your home at night piss on themselves until they're walking through the dark and they hear that. I guarantee you they just dropped a chalupa in your hallway. But don't count on that to defend you. So this is the second type of home defense shotgun. A little longer than the other one. But it's a little longer because I want this butt stock. And I want the longer barrel. Gives me better performance from my ammo and better patterns. But let's get back to this other one real quick. And we'll get off of it and get back on that one. This gun, and there's many like it. We're not going to worry about the brands. This is a Rock Island, that's a Mossberg. They come in many, many different manufacturers make both. This gun is great. It'd be a great truck gun, a great boat gun. It's not so good for a home defense shotgun. Number one, the ammo that you would want to run in this gun, which my preference would be double-aught buckshot. I would prefer number 4 buck, but you can't find it. It's hard to find, even on a good day. So, but double-aught can be bought anywhere just about. So that's what we're with. We'll get to that in a minute. This gun is a beast with anything, and it's absolutely uncontrollable with double-aught buckshot. This strap, the first time I fired it with these number 4, well, these are double-aught, but I fired it with number 4 birdshot, which is a turkey load. Something similar to this. And it broke the strap, slam off the gun. It had that much recoil. And I mean, I don't care how you hold it. I tried holding it up here. This is a beast. This is not for the faint of heart and recoil sensitive, period. And it throws a shitty pattern. I mean, you know, if you've watched my videos, you have to go from the longest point in your home, your longest line of sight, and gauge it with a rangefinder or step it off. Know how far that shot could potentially be. I mean, if you do the longest points, that's as long as your shot inside your home will ever be. All right, mine's 24 yards. This is no good at 24 yards. This throws a pattern so wide at 24 yards, you probably wouldn't hit anything. And that defeats the purpose. With any type of shell, whether it be birdshot, buckshot, I ain't firing slugs through it. It wasn't designed for it, and I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not hankering for punishment as far as breaking my fingers against the trigger guard and all that stuff when this gun recoils. Now, where this gun shines is with a low brass shell, a lower recoiling shell, which I don't suggest in a home defense shotgun. But where it shines is loaded with those, hung up somewhere in your home, the laundry room, where your wife knows. Hang it up over a door opening or something. Put it on some pegs where only she knows where it's at. Because she's going to fluctuate back and forth. She's going to be in the laundry room. She's going to be in the bathroom doing her hair. She's going to be checking this mirror, that mirror, this mirror at the kitchen. She'll be able to put her hand on a gun. Low recoil shells, if someone's in the home within a few feet from her, she has a viable option. That birdshot in a few feet with this gun will do the trick. Not my top suggestion. This gun is not my top suggestion for a home defense shotgun. Many out there, and many like it. But back to why I choose a pump. We've told you why. It's reliable. Pump it, pull the trigger, and it's ready to go. All right. So what I want to show you is, you see me having to push that button? We'll talk about that in just a minute. If you rack one in it and leave it in it and just put the safety on, That's not how you should carry this gun. That's not, I mean, that's not how it should be stored in your home. And here's why. Now, I just got one in it, let's just say. Now, during the night, I got to reach down and fumble finding that safety. That takes away the rack. That takes away my motor skills. So, what, you know, here's the open. You know, you have to push this button to open the slide. So, if you just leave it, damn thing, there we go. If you just leave it, the tube loaded and the barrel empty and the hammer down, okay, now it's not locked. You just do that. Now, if you leave it loaded like I just did, it locks the gun. That's with any pump. So, hammer down, loaded tube, and leave it where it's unlocked. That's how you have to use a home defense shotgun. That's my opinion. Pardon me. If you do it any other way, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now this, like we briefly touched on, is my home defense option. It's a cheap gun. It's a Mossberg Maverick 88. I think the thing was like 189 bucks at Academy. Has an 18-inch barrel. You can get them with a 20-inch barrel and with a flush tube here that hold 8 rounds. But I'm not a shotgunner. I don't shoot shotguns other than home defense. I don't hunt with shotguns anymore. So I don't have a lot. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got 7 shotguns. But this is one that actually has a reason for being here. This stands by my bed. That's why it's dusty and dirty. Because I never pick it up because it's just there for our protection. Side note, you still have to pick them up and clean them. So, and unload it before you clean it. With the recoil of a 12 gauge shotgun, even with low brass, I want the stock. I want it against my shoulder, you know, where I can absorb the recoil in the way it was designed. The pattern on this gun, even with an 18-inch barrel, and with double aught bucks, about 22, 23 yards. Whatever you buy, you have to shoot it with different loads in your home defense loads to know how many shots you can put on a target at what distance. So if you're 24 yards line of sight inside your home, like mine is my longest distance, if I were shooting number 4 turkey loads, which is a strong load, I want to be sure that I get enough shot density on that pattern. I choose a 8-inch pipe blade, but it's got to be a man-sized torso at least, and you want a vast majority of your payload on that target when you fire it. Only way you're going to know that is get outside and shoot your gun at different distances with different loads to see what works best for you. Again, I stay with the double aught buck, and there's many reasons why, but this particular gun, now the other one down there that looks just like this, you buy 2 identical guns, they may pattern different. You have to shoot them to see what your gun shoots best. 2 3/4 inch double aught buckshot has 9 pellets. Okay, 3-inch has 12. It's a personal preference on whether you want to shoot 3-inch shells in your gun if it's designed for it. Most modern guns are. A lot of old ones will only shoot 2 3/4. But there's 9 pellets in the 2 3/4, and there's 12 generally in the 3-inch. 9's plenty. This is a 33. There's 9 33 caliber lead balls in each of these cartridges. I'll give you an example of what that means. 9mm, I think, is like just under 35 caliber. So this is like 38 Special is 38 caliber. This is 9 33 caliber projectiles hitting you at one time. It's like a whole magazine of, 380s or something, or whatever's 33 caliber. The 410, it has 3 in it. There's 9 in these double aught buck 2 3/4. That's a lot. That does the job. In fact, and that's by far the most common buckshot you can buy. I would prefer a number 4 buckshot. It has 27 pellets in it that are 24 caliber. That gives you a more dense pattern. But they are so hard to find and so expensive when you find them. I could buy a 25 round of double aught, $15. That's the way to go, to me. That's my suggestion. To sum it up, 18-inch pump shotgun, double aught buck, pattern it outside, see what your gun likes. Because all double aught, all shells aren't the same, but especially with shotguns. You can buy Winchester Super X like I like. Winchester ammo seems to be consistent. But now you can get into Federal or Remington or something else, and they may not pattern the same in your gun. My gun shoots these, the 2 3/4 Super X double aught buck. They're unplated. They're lead pellets. You don't need anything fancy, guys. When you're talking about 12 gauge shotgun and buckshot, inside of a home, the span of inside of a home, unless you live at the Taj Mahal, 24 yards is a long way, okay? But now that's the longest point, like I said, from when I come out of my bedroom door and look down our hall through the living room, it's 24 yards down. That's the furthest shot that I could physically ever take inside my home. And outside in my yard, inside my fence, I think it's 35 yards. If I were to go outside, I wouldn't take a shotgun. Inside my home is where this gun shines. And that's the whole idea of it. But like I said, there's going to be, people on here that they may disagree with everything I've said. They don't want a buckshot because it over-penetrates. Listen, it does. If you live in one of those, like I described, where you can walk outside and throw a rock over the neighbor's house, you have a problem with over-penetration with buckshot. But you have a problem with over-penetration with anything inside your home. Homes weren't built to stop bullets. But you have more of a chance of getting those 9 on target with a longer barrel inside your home than you would with the shorter shotgun. And these are absolutely crazy. These are slugs. 12 gauge shoots a 1 ounce. This is a Foster type slug. It's a rifled slug. It's 1 projectile. It's solid ounce, but now it's just 1 projectile. This isn't a rifle. Now, I like slugs. They have their place. They'll put a whop on the deer. But not my choice for inside my home. I want the most amount of payload, the best pattern with the most power I can have inside my home. And for me, that is 18 to a 20-inch barrel in a 12 gauge with double aught buck, because I can't find number 4. I prefer, like I said, number 4 buck, more pellets, more condensed pattern. But if you want, if you're going to order online, order the number 4s. If you got the budget for it, fine. But if you don't, try the double aught buck. So I don't know what else I could tell you, except for all shotguns have recoil. You're not going to get by recoil. They tend to have a pretty stout recoil when you're talking about buckshot or slugs. And some of these lower, some of these, like this is a number 5 nitro turkey. It's in 3-inch. It has as much recoil as a buckshot does. You don't need 3-inch inside I don't think you do, but there's the difference. But it's personal preference. As long as you stay with 12 gauge and stay above a number 4 buck, I think you'll be okay. But give it a look. If you want a gun, you can absolutely modify and make it tactical and all that, and it actually serve a purpose. 12 gauge pump home defense shotgun's the way to go. It has more aftermarket support. Mossberg, even the cheap budget line, the Maverick 88, it is made by Mossberg. It's a Mossberg 500 with a little bit cheaper parts in it, but it's still 100% reliable every time. If I were to suggest what shotgun to buy and you had the budget, I would buy a Mossberg 500 and an 18-inch barrel. But if you don't have the budget, I would still buy the Mossberg Maverick 88 with an 18-inch barrel and double-aught buckshot, 2 3/4 inch. So have a blessed day. I hope I've answered everything the best of my ability. Put a light. This is another instance that I would suggest a light. But ain't but a few. And on a home defense long gun like a shotgun, I would say mount a light on it. Other than that, your light should be, in your pocket. But you can do anything with them that you want to do. They're an animal walking on God's green earth. That a 12 gauge shotgun with the right ammo selection, that it won't kill. So, Joe Blow thug monkey that wants to break in and steal your TV or rob you and tie your family up, rape your kids and all that kind of stuff, you won't have any problem stopping him at the door with that. If if you train with it, you have to shoot it. And go back, for God's sake, go back into my videos, and one of my earlier videos was busting shotgun myth, and I actually shoot a short barreled shotgun, I believe it was a double barrel, versus a 36-inch full choke pattern wise on a piece of plywood out here. You can miss with a shotgun. Don't let Hollywood get you killed. It ain't just point and click. You have to aim a shotgun, especially in these distances inside your home. So do that. Really, but that's my suggestions. Thank you for stopping by. If we've helped you, like and subscribe. If you disagree with me, disagree with me. We're not arguing on here. I'm not going to start an argument. If you want to start arguments on the videos, I'll just delete your comment and block you. I like to get input, negative and positive, from everybody. But if you ask me why I said so-and-so and I explain why I said so-and-so, and then you want to just keep on and on and on and on, I'm going to boot you off. So anyway, let's put God back first. Tomorrow's our election, our presidential election. Let's get out and vote. That's as close as I'm going to come to commenting on any of that. People are crazy. Let's pray for our families in this country. Let's defend ourselves and our homes, and it may very well come down to starting with what ammo and what type of gun to defend your home with. So thank you for watching this video. Thanks for requesting it. Have a good day. God bless you.